Welcome to this short introduction to the new startup model for traction vehicles available in Witness 22 Horizon. The model is found in the Startup folder alongside the usual startup.mod. StartUp AGV.mod will allow AGV networks to be built more quickly than before, with the added benefit of being able to model breakdowns, vehicle battery charge levels and recharge points, controlled maximum speeds that can be different on straights and curves, passing points, and various ways to control intersections. There are some pre-built model elements that need to be available for a brand new set of track and vehicle designer elements. Some of the elements that are predefined in the model must be there for the designer elements as they are created. A range of new designer elements have been created to cover a simple set of options for track networks, all with charging and breakdown functionality built in. So we have a simple straight, a 90-degree curve left and right, loading and unloading on straights and curves left and right, different cross intersections, recharge points, and a charging vehicle. So let's start by creating a vehicle. The variable values that are used are all assigned in the initialize actions of the startup module, so you can configure your own settings here. So we have maximum charge capacity, some alert levels, a recharging rate and some use rates for the battery, and the various maximum speeds that vehicles are allowed to go on the tracks. There are two initialize functions that can be set up to respond to any changes in vehicle quantities. So function set sizes can be set, in this case, to 2 vehicles, but we can very easily specify the number of defined battery type vehicles. And similarly for the breakdowns, we can make the variables pick up the quantity of vehicles that have been defined. And then we can start to create a simple layout. So I'm going to be producing a figure of 8 layout, so let's start with an intersection and let's add a delay to that to represent the intersection being blocked. And we can create a load track and an unload track. So let's position those as we want them. And allocate the length of time that it will take to unload a part or load a part. I can create a straight length of track and set its display length to match its actual length. And then I'll make use of one of the new curves. And very quickly I can loop that around to meet up with the straight I've previously created. Next, I can create a right-hand curve and then I can add a recharge point with a bypass. So one final straight, a right-hand curve. So I can now increase the number of vehicles that I've got defined, create a part that I can load and unload from those vehicles, and then create the rules for that part and the connection logic for each of those tracks. So on my load track, I can input my part from the world, and on my unload track I can push it out to ship. And then very quickly connect those tracks together so that the vehicle is pushed from one to the next. So very quickly we can create that network. We need to push the vehicles onto the track at an appropriate point. We can adjust the recharge warning points by setting the variables within initialize actions. So let me just make that a slightly wider range, and then we can run the model to see the behavior. So each vehicle enters the track and will only cross the intersection when it's not busy, and we'll see the effect of some of the short breakdowns that are suffered. So each vehicle will pause at the end of a track where appropriate because it's suffered a breakdown. All the while these vehicles are having their charge levels reduced because of their use on the tracks, and when the warning level is reached, then the vehicle will be diverted into the recharge point to recharge its battery level. So as each vehicle needs to be recharged, it will remain here for the right amount of time. Other vehicles can pass by unless they've hit their alarm level, in which case they're forced to stop so that they don't run out of charge, and each one in turn can be recharged. So this mini example shows how quickly the new charging, breakdown and intersection functionality can be built into your tracks and vehicles models.